Ruby, get in your cart. This Long Mean golf course is getting ready to open up, and we need to tell you all about it. What we did, why we did it, and what to expect come opening day. Now, I think we need to understand a little misconception about these 6-week closures. Now, we are very grateful to have a 6-week closure compared to other clubs. But one thing that we don't get is the frequency of how many times we can aerate, how many times we can do these cultural practices. By only having 2 closures, we have to double up what we do to the golf course. So that's why we go twice as hard with our aerification, our verticutting, because we only get 2 rounds of that in the summer for each golf course. During these 6-week closure, we're not sitting here and detailing the golf course. I mean, we're still doing some of that. Our primary focus is helping this grass grow. You see, summertime is the time to do your aerification, your aggressive cultural practices, and help get a healthy stand of turf and root mass. The stronger your roots are, the stronger your turf is going to be up top. So the name of the game this summer is all about growing those roots, getting healthy roots, and in the end, getting healthy turf up top. We do that by a couple things. First, we got to get rid of some of that thatch. Tees, fairways, greens, that's a big practice that we do here during these closures, is removing some of that thatch, organic matter, getting it out. Next, we really have to relieve some of that compaction everywhere. So where do we get this compaction from? This compaction came from a lot of our equipment rolling. We get foot traffic, you get cart traffic. All that compaction adds up pretty quick, especially during the winter months when we're seeing a lot more play versus the summertime. The only way to relieve that compaction is to do something physical. It's physically done, it's physically compacted. The only way to relieve it is to physically decompact it. That's why we core aerate and do some other cultural practices to help relieve that compaction. You might see grass grow across a driveway or a cart path. That's possible, but it's not. It's trying to find somewhere to root. And if you have a hard surface, it's very hard for that tiny root to sit there and try to establish itself. Now, we all know, and we've talked about El Nino before, what we had in 2023, 2024 this winter. It was a challenge. You know, grass was not looking good. It really needed to breathe. With that excess moisture and everything, we lost a lot of roots. These tees, greens, and fairways really needed help being able to breathe again. And that's what we did. So we started out with an aggressive verticut on the greens, 2 directions, to remove some of that thatch organic matter to help with that grain. Next, the contractors came out. We core aerated with a 3/4 inch tine, removed that material. 2 days later, followed up with a 1/2 inch core tine. That was our double aerification. We put our amendments in the soil, got the top dressing in the holes, tried to fill it in. The beauty of having a 6-week closure is we don't have to push them as hard. There's a lot of courses around town that have 1-2 week closures, and as soon as they're done aerifying, they have to sit there and hurry up and try to fill in those holes as quickly as possible. With having a 6-week closure, we have the benefit of them healing in a little more naturally. So when we open, we're not necessarily at super slow speeds. However, this closure was a little different. We did go aggressive. Turf needed it, especially after a harsh winter that we had. We had to create those air channels. You had to move that oxygen into the soil to help those roots survive. Weeks 1 and 2, the team knocked it out. I mean, it was a lot of hours, and we got everything aerified. We weren't growing in as fast as I'd hope around week 3 or 4, where we were at. So that came the time where we did have to start pushing them. There was just some algae growing in there, and when you get algae, it's so tough. The grass just doesn't want to grow across that algae and tack in new roots. So we started mitigating that, getting rid of that algae, and making great progress. Unfortunately, we had the storm come through. And when I mean storm, I mean 14.8 inches of rainfall during week 5. As the storms were rolling in and it raining that week, our crew couldn't really get out there to do any of the detail work and catch up on things. And we missed a lot of applications that were scheduled to help bring some of this grass back. So really it was more of a 5-week closure, because after it cleared out, we spent a lot of time fixing these bunkers, getting all the trash and everything off the lakes. So it wasn't fun, but the course survived. We did good. The team did an excellent job. When it comes to these crisis situations like a flood, a hurricane, or maybe a major tournament, that's when our team shines. And I don't think anyone else in the country does it better than what our team does here at Golf Course Maintenance. The bunkers that we installed, Bunker Solutions, held up pretty good. Still had a little bit of work and sand to move up, but it was nothing compared to the bunkers that had no liner at all on them. They completely washed out, destroyed, and became contaminated right away. It's a shame. Any golf course that has any kind of high flash bunker faces, if you want to protect your investment, you need to have some type of liner. And for us, we think Bunker Solutions is that solution. We had a couple other things damaged. We lost our aerator that got flooded. We had a satellite box that runs our irrigation, got a little wet. It has dried out and we think we're pretty good, so we might have dodged a bullet there. We've got some wooden features on this golf course that got damaged during this flood. The water just came rushing in and undermined it, and some repairs need to be made. But a long-term solution is definitely needed, and we have to play that fine line between what do we do if we're already going to renovate this golf course anyways. So more on that, we'll keep you updated. Overall, the golf course, I think, took the storm pretty well. You know, we did flood in some areas. I think the Loch Ness got it worse than the Long Mean. Greens are okay. There's a couple spots that still need some more time to heal. Again, we lost a week with all that cloud cover on week 5. They've come a long ways, and there might be a couple algae spots still in there. We'll be sure to keep the pins away from those locations, and should be good. Now, are they gonna be as fast as we expected? No. I hate that I keep making an excuse to the storm, but it's the reality of what happened and what went down. You know, we missed a lot of applications. We missed some of our mowing practices, our rolling practices, and from tee to green, that's why we're having a hard time kind of catching up with that growth. All that rainfall just exploded. We've been mowing our rough like 3 times a week trying to keep up. Fairway units are going out pretty much every day to try to keep up because, again, we missed some applications of some growth regulator that could have helped slow us down. We're going to catch up on those applications, and that grass is going to start learning again the height that we want. There's a couple sod areas around the collars. That's where we dropped the collars. These collars are creating a dam and holding water as water was trying to sheet off the green. So by lowering that, we're hoping to remove some of that surface water on the green when we get these heavy rains and not have a puddle of water on the green sitting there. Sitting water and excess moisture on these greens do not do good for the long term of these greens. So should we have done anything different this first closure of the Long Mean? I don't think so. I'm very happy with what the team did and accomplished, and it's happy and rewarding seeing these roots finally grow again, especially after such a harsh winter that we went through. These greens are going to end up being stronger for the next year because of what we did this 6-week closure. And I'm happy with the way the greens are right now. Now, they may not be rolling exactly perfect. There's still some bumps in it. It got scarred up, no doubt. I think the putting surface is going to improve day by day, and you're going to have about 5 to 6 weeks of great putting surfaces here on the Long Mean. So there's a couple rough areas, like I said. This golf course went through some pretty serious surgery. But that's all right, this was good for the long term of the golf course. I know some might be upset. I can't believe this golf course opened up the way it did. This thing should have been perfect after 6 weeks. Trust me, the easiest thing for me and my team to do is nothing, not aerify, not verticut. Don't do any kind of cultural practice. Just mow grass, feed it, and that's it, and have great putting surfaces for summer. But unfortunately, that can only last so long. If you don't core aerate, if you don't verticut, you get grain, you get some issues, you get disease problems, pest problems. It's important that you do some of these cultural practices to create that airflow, to decompact these areas, to get the turf healthy again and start the reset. Because once you start getting into cold season, that's when the clock starts ticking and you start losing roots, and it becomes more and more challenging to grow grass when these warm season grass does not like growing in these colder climates. So the summertime is the time to do your aggressive cultural practicing to survive another year. Take care now. Bye.